Welcome to Inspired by Truth. My name is Matebe. I decided to come on and just share some of my views and thoughts, and I realized that we're more connected than ever before, and our struggles are more connected than ever before. So today I just want to talk about floating. Floating or drifting, and I decided to come talk about it because I've found that I sometimes can float and drift away. But what I also found interesting is that when you're having discussions with others, they are also floating and drifting, and that's what led me to think that, okay, I'm not alone. And I realized something when I was in that season of constantly floating and drifting away was purely based on the fact that I don't want to sit with myself. And the reality is sitting with yourself is not nice, you know. You have to unpack things that you don't want to unpack, such as a job you hate, trying to take a pivotal change in a career and not knowing how, and having an economy that's not giving room to do that. Being in a relationship that's kind of taken a dip, or marriage that's kind of taken a dip, and you don't know how to shift and navigate that. Or anything else across the spectrum. And sitting with ourselves is sometimes the heaviest thing we can actually do. And floating and drifting in any kind of form, which would be, I don't know, drinking, shopping, and all sorts of stuff, often offers a buffer. I felt that even binge watching TV, I felt that drifting offers an escape from reality, an escape to sit with self. And the one day I was thinking of such a powerful line that just always resonated with me, which is the truth will set you free. It is such a loaded line, and it's so powerful, purely because the truth is disruptive. Truth is disruptive because for the longest time, we've kind of reframed truth in order for the truth to suit us. So there's a framework truth can operate in, and that framework is to make us comfortable. And it's interesting that facing our truth not only allows us to evolve into our higher being and our higher self, but it also unpacks hidden jewels that we didn't even know, which made me think that it could mean that we're not operating in our fullest capacity, and we're not operating in our highest being. Sorry, mixed up the words. In our highest being. Because it is within the truth setting us free that we get not reunited, but we get, actually, yes, it is reunited with the higher self. And that's not an easy journey to do. And it's interesting how, you've got all these exciting buzzwords like authenticity, owning your truth. And I always think to myself, it has taken me 3 full years to step into my truth and own my truth and live in my authenticity. So I've always got curious when people say that, because I just think, God, did you kind of take me through the longer route here or what? But I realized that journey for me was sitting in the mess, not making it my home. Sometimes I made it my home, but it's through sitting with the mess, working through the dysfunction, because we're now operating in that framework of dysfunction. So sitting through the dysfunction, and learning how to show up authentically, which was the biggest challenge. Because showing up authentically in corporate looks totally different. You can't show up authentically incorporate that also has a framework. So if I had to stand for what is right and what I believe in, I might get myself into hot waters. Or if I had to stand on what I believe and what is true for myself, that would also mean from a friendship perspective, I need to cut people off. And that journey sometimes is lonely because you then have one or two friends that will be with you. And I had to look at, if I had to own who I am and fully step into that truth of who I am and who God sees me as, that would mean even in the relationship aspect, not every candidate will then go to the final interview of getting to know me further. So that's the reason why I'm falling back on what I said earlier on, that those are interesting buzzwords, but the reality is, how does owning your truth then show up in every area of your life? And it's not the easiest thing, because owning your truth sometimes is challenged also in your own family, because for the longest time, your mom has known you as this individual where they come in and they can ask for money. You have to say yes all the time, or they can come in and do whatever they want and you have to say yes all the time because there was no boundaries set there. And now when you own your truth, you realize, oh, okay, I've been showing up this way in my life and this is what suits me now, and therefore reinforces the boundaries. And then when you start doing that, it's, oh, hold up. You normally used to say yes, and why are you now saying no? And that's why I find that owning your truth is challenging. Owning your truth is a journey. But the beauty of it is that in every area and every space, you show up authentically. So yeah, it's actually been quite challenged. It's actually been challenged in every area of my life, which is showing up authentically, like I said, in at work, showing up authentically with friends, where you realize, you know what, if you want me to really tell you the truth, what's happening in your life, I'm going to be authentically honest with you, and that might mean losing the friendship. So there's also the flip side, the backside of owning your truth. So when people say, own your truth, step into your truth, and I'm always curious to say, you tell me how that looks like in your life. And you quickly pick up that, well, okay, you haven't really owned your truth like you say you have. So owning your truth could also mean leaving areas, spaces, and people that do no longer serve you. And guess what? Sometimes without having a plan at all. And letting the highest version of you, obviously in conjunction with God, to tell you what the next steps would look like. So I just wanted to share that and share my world on that. I've obviously shared it at high level, but yeah, and get other people who are asking questions as to what is the truth and what does the truth look like. I think the truth, stepping in our fullest version, stepping into our truth and owning our truth, is not only impactful, but I think has the ability to offer sound-mindedness in every situation that we navigate through in life. So yeah, this is just my bit, sharing my input on owning your truth and what that looks like. Yeah, so this is just me sharing one story and see if it's going to impact somebody else, and somebody else can come in and share their view on it. So yeah, I hope the conversation was thought-provoking, and you can step into that journey of what the truth looks like. Because owning your truth is brutal. There's, heaviness that sometimes comes with it, but boy, the enlightenment that comes with it, and having the ability to say no quicker, is so liberating, because then I'm not operating from approval. I'm not operating from being validated. I'm not operating, you end up not being operating from being validated. You're not operating from, like I said earlier, on approval. You're not operating from being seen or heard, because in that statement, the truth will set you free, you start cultivating who you are. You start cultivating all the precious jewels that are already there, that were dormant, and you start now exercising that. So that's my 3-year journey of finally getting to a point where, you know what, this is my tebe, and I'm going to present myself this way, and I own that. And we're living in a society where it's so limited, not limited, wrong choice of word, but it is so hard to find women who are owning their truth. It is so hard to find women who are fully stepping in their truth. And that's because it's exacerbated not only by social media, but by pre-existing frameworks that have been passed down from generation to generation. And the ones we've created on top of that. So yeah, this is something I thought I wanted to share. Yeah. And I think once we have women who are fully owning who they are, it's just going to be so impactful. Like I always watch the Animal Kingdom, and I'm obsessed with lionesses, and I just see how they fully step into their being, and I just think, wow, the world would look so different and be so impactful if we were like lionesses, just owning our truth, owning who we are, you know, being territorial with who we are, not who we are, being territorial with the space that we're in. So yeah. Okay, take care. Bye.